Om Shanti. Good evening, everyone.
Om Shanti. Om
Om
Shanti.
Shanti.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
Shanti.
Om Shanti. So, today is day 3 of our Raj Yoga meditation course. Let's start with meditation, and then I will ask you some questions. But just before that, how many of you did the homework? Good, Ishan. Okay, Lalitesh and Eva did the homework. Great. Sankeet, you didn't do the homework, or you forgot?
I forgot.
Huh?
I couldn't finish it. I did like a little bit.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we'll talk about the homework. Kalp did very good. Kalp. Kushal did too. Very good. All right. Great. So we will talk about it right after the meditation. So sit very comfortably, straight. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Take another deep breath in. And as I breathe in and breathe out, I remind myself of who am I. I am a soul, a tiny, sparkling star, sitting in the center of the forehead, near the brain, behind these eyes. I, the soul, am forever. This body is my costume, my dress that I wear. I am not this dress. This body is the car and I am the driver. I'm separate from this car. My original qualities are love, peace, happiness. Let's breathe in peace and breathe out anger and irritation. Let's breathe in love and breathe out all kinds of dislike. I breathe in happiness and I breathe out all kinds of sorrow and discontentment. Om Shanti. So let's quickly review what we saw in the last 2 days. So I'll ask you questions and you can unmute yourself and answer, okay? You can just unmute and answer. All right. So what did we see? Who are we? Am I? Show me a thumbs up. Am I this body? Am I this name? Are we determined, or are we the role that I play or the dress that I wear? No. So what are we? You can just unmute and answer.
Soul.
Soul.
Soul. How does the soul look like?
A small point of
A
light.
point of light. A point of light. Light. Point of light. A point of light.
Great. Where is the soul in the body?
In the middle
of your
forehead. In the middle of your forehead.
Show me, where is the soul in the body? Why is the soul there and not anywhere else?
Because that's where all the controls are. So that's why it's.
So that's where all the controls are. The brain is there, and there are other organs too here. Okay, that's where all the control is. What do you think the soul does sitting here?
Controls the body.
Sankeet? Huh? Okay, Sankeet,
I was just gonna say the same thing.
what is that?
It controls the body.
Controls the body. So drives the body, controls the body. Okay. Uh, is making excuses our original religion? Is making excuses who I am?
No.
What is soul consciousness? What is body consciousness?
Soul consciousness means like when you are a soul, and then body consciousness is when you're like in a body.
Anybody else? Yes. Yes, Lalitesh?
Soul consciousness is when you define yourself not as your name or your body, but you define yourself that you're your soul. And body consciousness is you think like you're the body and that your name and other ones are who you are.
Right, very good. Yeah, so soul consciousness is when you think that, when you define that I am a soul separate from this body, and body consciousness is when we are trapped in this body, when we are trapped in the thinking that I am this body, I'm what I wear, I'm how I look, I'm how I speak, and all those things, right? So what do we have to practice all day? Yes. What do we have to practice?
Soul consciousness
Soul consciousness. Why do we need to practice soul consciousness?
to remind ourselves we're not the soul, not the body, but we're the soul.
So why do we need to remind ourselves that I am a soul and not the body? Yes, Ishan?
Because then if someone actually says like your shirt looks bad, you won't actually care that much because you're soul conscious, not body conscious.
Very good. So if someone says anything anything to you, I can immediately differentiate and say, oh, they are speaking about the body. They don't even know the soul, right? And I will not get affected. Very good. So let's and then why is it that we are not able to remain soul conscious all the time like we would want to? Why is it that we are not able to remain soul conscious? Why is it we keep forgetting that I am a soul? Why does it feel like so much effort and practice? Yes, Lalitesh?
We're told we're the body.
Because we are told we are the body. And Kushi?
When we came to the old world, we thought we were like the body for so many times. Now it's hard to go back to like being soul conscious.
Because everyone around us keeps reminding us that we are the body, right? How many did you even know that we are all souls and not this body? Did you ever think? Did your family, anybody in your home and family ever taught you that, oh, you are the soul, you're not this body? No, right? Because everyone around us keeps reminding us things related to the body. So that's why we find it difficult. Okay. So what has happened? So what are the original qualities of the soul? Is anger original quality of the soul? Then why do we get angry? Akshaya, want to answer?
It's because we thought we could get things done with anger.
Because we thought we could get things done, because we saw people around us getting angry and we thought, oh, wow, look at that. I think I can do that and get things done. Okay, so what are the original qualities of the soul? I want someone else to answer. Kushal, original qualities of the soul?
Peace and happiness.
Peace, happiness, and Sankeet,
Love.
love. So love, peace, happiness, and there are many different virtues too. There is respect.
The soul has all the virtues, although it can sometimes be clouded by the vices.
Very good. So these are all the original qualities, the virtues, but sometimes what happens is they are clouded by the vices, which we called algae, no? Yesterday, algae, which is anger. Who remembers? A for anger, L for, yes, Dheeraj, you haven't answered, so let me ask you.
Lust,
G for,
greed,
A for, Arya, the other A for
Attachment,
attachment, and E for
ego.
ego. Good. So these are this algae, there's a layer of this algae on the soul, and because of this we are not able to be happy all the time, be loving all the time, be peaceful all the time, because this interferes with the soul. Okay, so now I have to get rid of this layer of algae. What do you think is the method to remove this layer of algae or from the soul? Kalp?
To remove your allergy, you don't have to do like these angry things, and you have to see people do kind things, and then you copy them.
Very good. So to remove this algae from the soul, you should not use them. Okay. Pay attention not to be angry. Pay attention not to be greedy. Pay attention not to do all this, right? But be more, start using more and more of the virtues. Okay. So this is how, this is one method, first method, or one of the methods to remove this layer of algae from the soul. Okay, now let's move to this thing. What is the soul doing sitting up here? So we said that the soul controls the body, right, which is the car. So the soul is driving this body, which is the car. So when we are driving the car, you know, there are what are the main things needed when you're driving the car? Main this thing. So who wants to answer? Who hasn't answered? Ria? Yeah.
Focus.
Focus is needed, yes. But what are the physical things needed in a car? Like, you know, like there's a steering wheel. So what else? Like, what are the things that are needed in a car? I'm just looking at, okay. Yes, Dheeraj?
The brake.
The brake, very good. So the steering wheel, the brake, and
The accelerator.
the accelerator. So these three things are needed when we are driving now, because if there is no steering wheel, where will we go? If there's no accelerator, how will I speed? No? How will I increase my speed? The car will only be standing in one place. Can the car move anywhere without the accelerator? No, right? And if the car is moving with the accelerator and keeps moving and I have to brake, then I need the brake. So these three are needed to drive a car. So in the same way, in the soul, there are three components, there are three things that make the soul drive this body. Okay, and the three components are, I know Khushi knows the answer, but I'm going to explain. So the three components are mind, you can write it down, mind, intellect, so this is the soul, and there are three components. Okay, this is the mind, this is the intellect, and this is called the sanskar. Or you can also call this as impressions. Okay. So these are the three things needed for the soul to run this body, to run this car. The mind, intellect, and sanskar. And let's look at these three. Have you heard about the mind? So many of you know mind. Yeah? Okay. So what do you think the mind does? Yes. Eva, what does the mind do?
It thinks. It gives you thoughts.
So the mind thinks. Okay. Do you know how many thoughts the mind thinks throughout the day? Anybody wants to take a guess? How many thoughts? Yes, Ivana?
24/7.
24/7. The mind thinks 24/7. But do you want to give a number to the number of thoughts you think we create in one day? Just a number? Okay. Ishan?
My guess is 40,000 thoughts.
40,000 thoughts. Very good. Pretty close. Sankeet?
50,000.
50,000. It's like bidding, huh? Okay. 40,000. 50,000. What else? Khushi?
1,000?
No, 1,000 is too less. Not 1,000. Krisha?
I think 1,020.
Okay. So the mind thinks anywhere between 40,000 to 60,000 thoughts in one day. 40,000 to 60,000 thoughts. So the days that you are stressed, you have a test, you have this, you will create more thoughts. Okay. So this is how many thoughts we create all day. Can you remember all these thoughts? Do you think you remember all these thoughts? So since morning, you have already created about 30,000 thoughts today. Do you remember your 30,000 thoughts? We don't remember. Why we don't remember? Okay, why we don't remember our thoughts? The reason is that there are different kinds of thoughts. Okay, so there are different kinds of thoughts. The first is there are positive thoughts, there are negative thoughts, there are necessary thoughts, and then there are waste thoughts. Okay, so these are the 4 types of thoughts: positive, negative, necessary, and waste. So positive thoughts are thoughts that are based on the virtues. Okay, negative thoughts are thoughts based on the algae, vices. Necessary thoughts are thoughts that are necessary. Yeah, like you are thirsty, you just go and get water. You don't think too much, should I drink, not drink, all those things, right? So necessary. Someone rings the bell and you go and open the door. So necessary thoughts. And then there are waste thoughts. Waste thoughts are thinking about the past, worrying about the future, things that you think, oh, I can do this, I can do that. You keep planning, but you don't do anything. Waste thoughts. Waste thoughts can be converted into positive if you plan and do it, right? But we keep planning, no? Or we keep thinking about the past, or we keep thinking about the other person and say, oh, this one is like that. I wish they didn't do this. This had happened. Right? So all those are waste thoughts. So taking, like, say, when you're stressed, when you have a test and you're worrying too much about the test, waste thoughts. Right? How will I? Instead of that, let me study. That's all that is waste thoughts. Throughout the day, we generate about 85% waste thoughts. So most of our thoughts are waste thoughts. And that's why we don't remember our thoughts, because where should waste go? Where should waste be? Priya, where should waste be?
In the trash.
In the trash. And where am I keeping it? Where am I keeping it? In the, yes, Lalitesh?
Trash.
Yeah, waste should be in the trash, but I'm thinking and thinking and thinking about the waste. So where am I keeping it?
Mind.
In my mind. And have you ever experienced this or felt that, you just get so tired that you don't want to think anymore? Like you just feel like, oh, I'm so tired. You have not done anything physical, no physical tiredness. You didn't go to the gym or didn't do too much workout or nothing. But then at the end of the day, you're just so tired. You don't feel like talking to anybody and you just want to be by yourself. Because all day I was creating a lot of waste. And what happens? Think of a machine, right? The machine is working 24/7, but the only thing the machine does is create waste. Is the machine of any use? No, it's only creating waste. So our mind has become like that, and you're still little, so yours is not to that extent. I'm sure your waste thoughts would be a little lesser, but as we grow older, our waste thoughts keep increasing. No? So that's why you see our parents are more stressed than you are. Do you see that? They think, they worry too much, they think too much, they get irritated more, right? All that because waste becomes negative easily. So waste can become negative very easily. All right. So this is why we don't remember our thoughts. But if we create positive thoughts, we will remember them. Every thought has a feeling with it. Let's do an activity. Okay, I'm going to give you some thoughts and I want you to Just think. Okay, think what I'm asking you to think. So you are at your home. You walk towards the kitchen. You take a piece, you open the refrigerator. You take a piece of lemon. You cut that lemon in half and squeeze that half in your mouth. What happened?
It would feel really sour on my tongue.
Did you feel lemon? You felt sour? So there is no lemon, no knife, no kitchen. You are sitting here in front of me. You didn't disappear. What happened? So just now you did a meditation on lemon. This was a meditation on lemon. Easy? So is meditation easy? Easy, right? Okay. So what did we do? I gave you some thoughts. You were just following those thoughts. And you got a feeling of lemon, right? So every thought has a feeling. So if you create good and happy thoughts, what will be your feeling? Good and happy feeling. If you create too many waste thoughts, what will be your feeling? Karuna?
It would be waste.
It would be
It would be
waste.
waste.
Yeah, so it will be waste. If you are creating negative thoughts, what will be your feeling? Negative. Right? If you're creating thoughts based on algae, your feeling will be of algae. So anger, lust, greed. Do you think people like going or being around people who create negative thoughts? Would you go to someone who keeps creating negative and wasteful thoughts? What do you think? Who would like to be around people who are only giving out negative thoughts and who only talk negative, bad things, or even if they don't talk, but they're just like that as a person? Would you spend time with such people? Would you like being around such people? No, right? Because remember, every thought has a feeling, and every feeling creates a certain vibration. It creates a vibration. Okay, so all of us carry our carry vibrations around. So even if sometimes you don't need to speak, but you can understand when you meet someone, you can just feel if they are really good, if they are not good, do they really mean well or they don't mean well. Have you experienced that anytime before? Like you meet someone, or when someone is giving you a compliment, oh, you look so nice, and you just know whether they are like really speaking from their heart or they're just trying to say it. Yeah, do you know this? Have you experienced this? Right? So because all of us, whenever we create thoughts, it creates feelings and we create those vibrations. Okay, so and remember, soul to soul, right? The soul to soul communication, we don't even say. We speak through the mouth. So right now I'm using the mouth to speak and you're using your ears to listen, right? The soul is listening through the ears, the soul is speaking through the mouth, and I'm also listening through the ears, right? This is physical, you can see. But there is also something else that's happening, and that is a soul to soul communication, which is not visible. And that communication, so as you're listening to this class, you're also feeling something. Are you feeling something as you're listening? And what you will feel, even though we are on Zoom, if we were in person, definitely it would be different and more, the feeling would be more. But we are on Zoom, but still we feel something. What are you, do you feel anything during this class? What do you feel? What do you feel? You don't feel anything? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I feel really usually calm during this class.
you feel calm during this class, okay, Karuna? And then Ria.
I feel very relaxed and open-minded.
Okay. Ishan.
Well, I kind of feel like this class when you have a different when you actually aren't focusing that much on meditation, it's kind of hard for you to be in peaceful and calm. But when we're in this class is mostly on meditation, so it's more easier to focus and have no negative thoughts.
Yeah. So do you think that while you are in this class for say like this 1 hour or so, do you think your negative thoughts are less? Your wasteful thoughts are less? It is, right? Yeah. Yeah. So good. So this is what we need to practice. So what we need to practice. So this is second practice, okay, to remove algae. So the second practice is try to check what am I thinking. So if I ask you right now, what are you thinking? And just check, what am I thinking? And suddenly you will feel that, oh, am I thinking anything? Nothing. Do you feel that? Like if I just ask you, what are you thinking right now? Like stop. What are you thinking right now? So, yes, Ankit, you can go and get it. So, if I ask you, what are you thinking? And you'll just be like, oh, am I thinking anything? What am I thinking? But definitely you were thinking something. So when we put like a sudden break and ask, what am I thinking? What are you thinking? So the mind will be in this position, oh, alert, oh, what am. So think of it, right? The body, so this the soul is driving, right? So the steering is like the mind. It's busy. It's just going around everywhere, right? Um, or think the mind is like the accelerator. It keeps thinking, right? Keeps thinking. So the brake is the intellect. So the brake for the soul is the intellect. So the intellect will ask the mind, hey mind, what are you thinking? And the mind will be like, oh, nothing. So then the intellect will say, okay, now think this. So the intellect does two things. The intellect decides or tells the mind like do it, don't do it. So anytime you're like making decisions or whatever, it is the intellect that is making the decision. Okay. And the intellect also visualizes. So right now when we did the meditation on lemon and you saw yourself in the kitchen, you cut the lemon, right? All that. So the thought was given, the mind was creating that thought and the intellect was visualizing it. Oh yeah, I see myself, right? I see the kitchen. Like right now, if I tell you, see yourself on a beach. You see you are on the sand. The sand is white. You are walking towards the water. You see the water. Are you seeing all this? You're not seeing with these eyes, are you? Are you seeing with these eyes? Is the beach in front of you to see with these eyes? No. You're seeing with the intellect. Okay. So the intellect is also called the third eye. Have you heard this term, third eye? So the intellect is also like the inner eye or the third eye, which is of the soul. Okay. So we see or we visualize to the intellect. And then the feeling is the sanskar. So the lemon taste that you got, it's the sanskar, it's the feeling. Everything that we feel is registered in the soul as a sanskar. It keeps registering. So think of like the capacity of the soul. So you all have your laptops and iPad, right? What is the storage capacity? It's like 1 terabyte or maybe a few. You can store all these things. But think about the soul. It stores so much. So the capacity of the soul is so much. Okay. So mind, intellect, and sanskar. Now let me give you an example to show how this works inside so fast that we don't even realize. So when you were a little child, and maybe you have this memory or you don't, you were happily playing with a toy that you had. You were happily playing with a toy, and then your friend or your little brother or your neighbor or someone, right, or your cousin comes over and wants that toy from you. Okay, you are happy playing with this toy, and someone comes and wants that toy from you. Now, you don't want to give that toy, so you're like saying, should I give, not give, right? And you like the cousin, you like the brother, sister, but you're still thinking whether I should give or not give. And then right then, the cousin snatches that toy away from you. Okay, and then you start crying. You started crying. So your mom or his mom comes and tells you that, oh, don't cry. I'll give you another toy. I'll give you something nice. Come, come, come. I'll show you something nice. I'll give you something nice. What did you learn? So the next time someone else wanted something from you, your memory went back. Your mind was like, oh, last time when this one wanted, I started crying and I got something nice and something new. So let me do that again. So what did you learn? Kalp?
I just have something to tell you.
Oh, wait. You have to answer this question if you know. We'll come to that. Shreyan, what did you learn?
I learned that like if you forget it, then you don't even have to cry and you and maybe someone would see it and then someone would get, like like you said, the boy or sibling got a new toy.
Okay. Anybody else? What did you learn? That if you want something new, you can cry and get it. Did you learn that? Do you do that?
Sister Ria has her hand up.
Oh, I can't see her. Yes, Ria.
I learned that there's always a positive way out of negativity. Like
Yeah,
like,
there is.
yeah.
Yeah, good. So I can take it as a positive, but also what I learned was that, oh, if I want something from my parents, I can cry. I can just cry if someone asks me something and I will get something that I want. Let's take another example. Say you you know, when the child, when you're little and you start walking, and you would have seen if you have your siblings, like, you know, we don't just stand up and start walking. You first start crawling, right? You crawl and then you try to take support and then you try to stand and walk. And while you're trying to do that, you're trying to take support from a table or something, and then you fall. Now you fall and you start crying. Yeah. And your mom comes and says, oh, bad table. This table is bad. This table hurt you. And then you also start beating the table. Oh, this table is bad. This table's hurt me. And then every time something hurts you or every time you cry, we start blaming someone else in our life. It is because of this one, it is because of this one did this to me, this one did this to me. And we never realize that, oh, I fell or I got hurt because I didn't know it. So this sanskar or this habit of blaming, or anytime you know when you used to go to school, Zoom is easy, but when you were getting up in the morning to go to school and your alarm rang, so when your alarm rings, what is the thought that comes to you? Oh, get up, time for school, right? And then something tells you, oh, 5 more minutes. Yeah. And then you snooze your alarm to 5 more minutes. So the mind, the intellect says, get up, time for school. The mind is like, oh, I'm so tired. I did this yesterday. I'm so tired. I want to sleep more, 5 more minutes. And then what happens if the mind, if the intellect says that, oh, okay, the mind is more powerful than the intellect, then we will continue to sleep. And what habit am I creating? What is the sanskar that is being created?
You have to sleep later.
Yeah, I can sleep more, or I can snooze my alarm, and that becomes a habit. When you keep doing it every day, it becomes a habit. How many of you have that habit of snoozing your alarm and going back to sleep? 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, or nobody? Very less. Oh, you're such good kids. I had that habit when I was a kid. I would always say, oh, 5 more minutes, please. So that's a habit. So how are habits created? Habits are created like this. So when I keep doing the same thing over and over again, it becomes a habit. So the mind, the intellect, and the sanskar. Okay. So the mind thinks, the intellect decides, do it, don't do it, should I do it, not do it. Say the intellect says, okay, do it. So snoozing the alarm. So the morning the alarm goes off, the mind is like, oh, can I sleep 5 more minutes? The intellect is, no, it's time for school, you have to get up. Then the mind like, oh, I slept late, I was doing homework, yesterday a guest came, this one, I'm so tired. The intellect like, no, you'll get late to school, right? And say the mind like, oh, then the intellect says, okay, sleep. Now, the impression or the sanskar is created, you go back to sleep. Now, tomorrow again, when the alarm rings, what happens? From the sanskar, the mind gets the thought, oh, you slept yesterday, see, but still you could make it to school, you're not late. So I can sleep 5 more minutes. So the intellect like, no, this happened yesterday, not today. Get up. The mind like, no, I can manage it. So again, the action is performed and you sleep again. Then again, 4th day, 5th day, 6th day, 10th day. So what is happening? Your habit is getting created. So every day, without you knowing, you will snooze the alarm. And after some time, the intellect stops thinking. The intellect says, oh, anyways, this one is not listening to me. Just do whatever. So the third method to manage the mind or to create less thoughts is to awaken the intellect, to use the intellect. Can you all see the screen and hear me? Okay. Is to use the intellect. So this knowledge that you're listening, where is it going in the soul? Who wants to say? This knowledge that you're listening, where is it going in the soul? Is it in the mind, the intellect, or the sanskar? Daivik, where is it going?
In the mind.
In the mind. Okay. Anybody else? Sankeet?
In the intellect.
In the intellect. Why in the intellect?
Because the mind is like the decision making. Like it starts to say, if you want to snooze the alarm, you first make that first decision that, oh, I want to snooze it.
So the intellect is the decision making. Okay, and the mind is just thinking. Mind doesn't know anything else. Mind just keeps thinking. The intellect is the decision making, and then the intellect can change the habit.
I think it's the sanskar, because these things, they go into habit. I mean, the first day it goes into intellect, and then it goes into your sanskar, becomes a habit, and then.
Very good. If you're doing it every day over and over again, so say like you remember like the first day of the class, when it was 5 o'clock, maybe you had to set an alarm. Oh, 5 o'clock, it's the course today, I have to attend. Now the second day, did you need any this thing? Third day, do you think it's easier for you to just come and attend? Right? So you're creating a habit, you're creating a sanskar. So the first time, yes, it goes in the intellect. But if you're using it again and again, it becomes a habit. Okay? So let me show you a video before I send you into a breakout room to discuss on habits. Our kids did a little skit on the mind, intellect, and sanskar. And I wanted to show you that. How does it work? So one of them was the mind, one of them was the intellect, and one of them was the sanskar, and one of them was the soul. Okay. Can you see the video?
Yeah, we can.
Now watch this video very carefully.
Hello, Shanti. I'm the soul. Today I'm going to introduce to you my 3 most important faculties: the mind, the intellect, and the impressions. So let's start with the mind. Hey mind, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm just thinking about the party we had last night, and all the food we ate, and where we went, and all my friends. I can't believe the food that we ate in the restaurant was so gross. I just can't even eat it. And Rebecca's shoes, like, they're not even cool. Like, she said she bought it like a week ago, but honestly, my shoes that I bought like 5 years ago are in better condition and even cooler than hers. I don't even know what she's talking about. Yeah, I'm just thinking about the party we had last night. So, yeah.
Okay, it sounds like you feel active and boosted. Let's see if the intellect and impressions also are active and boosted. Hey intellect, how are you doing?
Oh, yeah, I'm not doing so great. The mind has been making so many thoughts the whole day. I feel so tired and restless. So, it's just way too much for me. In fact, I think I'm gonna go take a nap right now. Bye.
Okay, bye. Well, that was not a pleasant reply from the intellect. Let's go see if the impressions is a little better. Hey, impressions, how are you doing?
Not so well either. The mind has been making so many thoughts. I have to store jealousy, happiness, so many stuff. I'm getting confused.
Oh, okay. Wow, I did not know that the intellect and impressions were really deeply affected by the mind. I'm gonna go have a little talk with the mind. Hey mind, can I have a little talk with you?
Oh, yeah, 1 minute. Oh, yeah. What's up, soul?
So I went and talked with the intellect and the impression, and they're not feeling so good. The reason is because you're creating a little too many thoughts for them, so they can't hold the information or they can't process the information.
Oh, I didn't know that. So
maybe a good solution would be to create some new positive thoughts.
Positive thoughts. I think I might need the help of the intellect to do that.
Okay, I'll go talk with the intellect. Hey intellect, are you ready? I just need a little help with something.
Yeah, sure.
So the mind wants to create good thoughts and positive thoughts, but she needs a little help from you. So can you help her?
Yes, I can.
Can you help me create good thoughts?
Yes, I can. Now, I am a peaceful soul.
I am a peaceful soul.
I am a joyful soul.
I am a joyful soul.
I am a soul who radiates happiness and peace.
I am a soul who spreads or radiates happiness and peace.
I am a soul who only creates good and positive thoughts.
I am a soul who only creates positive and good thoughts. Wow, I feel a little better. I mean, so much energy of mine was also wasting. So, yeah, I feel good. I'm sorry for ruining all your guys' energy. I didn't know I was causing so much chaos.
Okay. In fact, I feel much better now. I don't have all the trouble of processing so many thoughts. Now it'll be super helpful. I don't need to do as much work.
What about you, Impressions? Do you feel better?
Peaceful and calm, and I'm not confused. I feel much more better.
Oh, sorry. That's a good thing.
Shanti.
Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Did you enjoy the skit? What did you understand? Yes, Eva.
I understood that sometimes the impressions and
Which
the
is the
intellect,
sanskar? Yeah.
yes, they can sometimes they can be a bit burdened by all the thoughts that the mind is making. So the mind, if the mind thinks positive thoughts, then they have less of a burden.
So every thought that we create is a feeling which gets registered or saved. Okay. So the more I create positive thoughts, positive feelings will be saved. The more negative thoughts I create, negative feelings and everything will be saved. See, that's why the impression or the sanskar was like, oh, I'm so confused. I'm saving all this. I don't know, right? Saving jealousy, saving hatred, saving this, all these things in the world, right? And what about the intellect? What happens to the intellect when the mind keeps thinking and thinking and thinking? What happens to the intellect?
The intellect has to process all those thoughts.
Lalitesh, what happens to the intellect?
The intellect gets tired and has to process all the thoughts.
Yeah, so the intellect has to process all these thoughts and gets tired, like, okay, anyways, the mind is not listening to me. I'm going to go and sleep. So our intellect stops deciding. Our intellect stops telling us this is good, this is bad, don't do this, don't do that. It just goes to sleep. And the mind keeps doing whatever the mind wants. What do you think will happen if the intellect is always sleeping and the intellect doesn't tell the mind, stop, do this, do that? And if the intellect just keeps on, if the mind just keeps on thinking, what do you think will happen? Yes, Lalitesh?
The mind keeps making bad thoughts and bad decisions.
Okay. Daivik?
I was going to say the same thing. It doesn't make good impressions and not very good thoughts.
Right. So if the mind keeps on thinking, so remember our life will be so chaotic. Right? If the intellect was not telling us even once in a while that, okay, do this or make the right decision and this is good and this is not good for you, we would just be doing whatever comes to our mind, right? So if I want to succeed in life and if I want to be peaceful, I want to be happy, I want to be stress free, what is needed? What is needed? Okay, only 2 people are raising their hands. I want to hear from someone else. What is needed if you want to be stress free and you want to be happy and you want to create good sanskars and good feelings? What is needed? Sankeet? I know Khushi Krishav know the answer. Sankeet and Akshaya. Yeah.
Thinking positive thoughts.
Thinking positive thoughts. Okay. Akshaya?
The intellect.
We need the intellect to be powerful. We need our intellect to be powerful. The only way that the intellect becomes powerful is by knowledge. So the knowledge that you're listening, it is going in the intellect. And not just sitting in the intellect, but the knowledge has to be applied, and then the intellect will become powerful. So when you start applying, knowledge, the intellect becomes powerful. Okay, you might know, you might know that, oh, I know I want to be peaceful. I know I want to be peaceful. But if you're not making any effort, if you're not doing anything to be peaceful, will you become peaceful? No. So even though the intellect has the knowledge that yes, peace is good and I want to be peaceful, but you will not be able to change that habit of irritation or whatever, because I'm not using steps or I'm not applying steps to become peaceful. Okay, so to make the intellect powerful, I have to apply knowledge. Okay, so we have about, I think about 10 minutes for the breakout room. So I'm going to send you all in the breakout room, and you are going to share different methods as to how do you think. So you're going to share one habit of yours and how are you going to change that habit. Okay, so think about it right now. Think of a habit that you want to change and think of how would you change. I got you all back. We will continue this tomorrow because I think you all had great discussions in your breakout room. And I think we should continue this little bit more tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow, so your homework for today is, so for some of you who have the habit of watching too much TV or phone, try to limit yourself till tomorrow and give yourself that, okay, I'm only going to do this for 30 minutes. For those of you who are trying to wake up early and not snooze your alarm, try to tomorrow morning when you wake up, so before you go to bed, create this thought before you go to bed that I will get up at this time. I will get up at this time. Okay, not I want to, but I will. So create that thought and go to bed. Those who have the habit of laziness and procrastination and carelessness, try to create this thought that I am active. I am active. Okay, I am a master. I am active. So try to work with your thoughts. And tomorrow we will talk more about how can you use your thoughts to create new habits. All right. So this is what we'll talk tomorrow. How to create thoughts to create new habits. So let's take a minute of silence and give yourself a very, very powerful thought. I, the soul, am a master. I am a master over the things I watch. I am a master of my sense organs. I am a master over my habits. I'm a master because I'm God's child. I'm a master because I am the soul. My habits are limited to the body, and I, the soul, I am the ruler of this body and my habits. So I create a very determined thought that I am the master who is a conqueror of my weakness or my habit. Om Shanti.